It's Wednesday, July 1st. In the headlines, in local news, the government strengthens its response to domestic violence and sexual harassment. In business news, we bring you the latest market details. Regionally, Barbados moves one step closer to adopting a new constitution. And in sports, Minister Grange unveils National Stadium redevelopment plan. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Brittany Clark. The government is strengthening its response to sexual harassment and domestic violence. This is being done through the law enforcement and new technology. Speaking in the sectoral debate at Parliament on Tuesday, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Olivia Grange, spoke of the Sexual Harassment Protection and Prevention Act. She says that the Sexual Harassment Tribunal is now fully operational.
The Sexual Harassment Tribunal, established by the law, is fully functional and has been hearing cases. Between July and March, 21 complaints have been received, with 62% resolved and closed. And I use this opportunity to again remind workplaces of the need under the law to develop policies for the prevention of sexual harassment and to ensure that the policies are brought to the attention of workers. The Bureau of Gender Affairs is standing by to provide assistance.
Minister Grange also announced that the government is developing a mobile app to make it easier for victims of domestic violence to seek help discreetly.
We're developing a mobile app, Madam Speaker, to enable people in domestic violence situations to call for help. The app will integrate the National 24-hour Domestic Violence Hotline and will provide a discreet, secure, and accessible platform to respond to and support those who need help and prevent gender-based violence.
The app will provide quick access to emergency support and strengthen the government's response to gender-based violence.
The app will enable us to offer the next level services as part of our continuum of care for survivors of gender-based violence. And the app is coming, but the hotline is open. So I encourage anyone who needs assistance to call 876-553-0372, and we will help you.
The Senate has approved the Civil Aviation Amendment Act for 2026, paving the way for stronger aviation safety oversight and closer alignment with international standards. Piloting the legislation is Education, Skills, Youth and Information Minister, Senator Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, who said the amendments will modernize Jamaica's aviation laws.
A review of Jamaica's civil aviation legislation was undertaken to determine the extent to which the applicable provisions of the Chicago Convention and SARPs are reflected in our domestic legal framework. And remember, SARPs are the standards and recommended practices. This review identified several areas requiring legislative amendments to ensure that Jamaica's civil aviation laws effectively support the discharge of its international obligations and align with current international civil aviation standards and best practices.
The legislation will also update penalties for aviation offenses, including increasing the maximum fine for dangerous flying from $20,000 to $5 million, while introducing new offenses for failing to comply with aircraft interception procedures.
We're also updating the monetary penalties contained in the Act, which have remained unchanged for a considerable period, to ensure they are proportionate to the seriousness of the offenses and support stronger regulatory compliance and enforcement in the interest of aviation and the flying public.
Senator Morris Dixon said maintaining compliance with international aviation standards is critical to protecting Jamaica's tourism industry, supporting airline confidence, and avoiding sanctions that could restrict air services or future aviation investment.
The consequences of non-compliance with our international commitments would extend well beyond the aviation sector. A credible and internationally aligned safety oversight system is part of Jamaica's core economic infrastructure. Compliance underpins the confidence of airlines, passengers, insurers, aircraft lessors, investors, and partner regulators in Jamaica as a safe and reliable destination.
Jamaica recently experienced its first ever Chinese night market, brought to life by the Embassy of the People's Republic of China. Marlon Samuels made a stop at the market and filed this report.
Under the patronage of the Chinese Embassy in Jamaica, this vibrant event promised a unique culinary journey.
This night market is really all Chinese food. And a lot of Jamaicans, right, they love Chinese food. And that's the reason why we have so many Chinese people selling all different types of food. And everybody enjoying it so far, right? So this is one thing that they guarantee that is authentic Chinese food you're getting. And the embassy, they have a lot of sampling going on now. So, you know, it's also good to try them.
The market exceeded expectations. It showcased an impressive variety of traditional Chinese dishes and beverages, freshly made dumplings, noodles, succulent shrimp, crispy spring rolls, and spicy Sichuan stir-fry. All dishes were prepared fresh on site, offering quick, authentic flavors that captures China's rich culinary heritage. Visitors enjoyed Chinese desserts, including sweet bean paste treats, providing a perfect sweet finish to their experience.
So the sticky rice outside and the smashed red bean inside. And then we can put some sugar on it to make it better taste. Yes.
It's good. I love it. I like it a lot.
The Chinese ambassador to Jamaica emphasized the cultural importance of the event.
Like the Jamaican national motto said, out of many, one people. I think the Chinese community has been becoming a very important part of the Jamaican community. The local Chinese community has contributed to the national social and economic development, and the Chinese food has becoming a bondage of friendship between China and the Jamaican people. Yeah, I'm very glad to say that the Jamaican people, they love the Chinese food. And also the Chinese people, they also love Jamaican food. Yeah, and also I can tell you, jackfruit is also one of my favorites. And Jamaica has becoming the land I love. Yeah, as Chinese ambassador, I will devote myself to the further development of China-Jamaica strategic partnership.
The Chinese night market is more than just a food event. It's a celebration of friendship, culture, and China's rich flavors right here in Jamaica. For the news on PBCJ, I am Marlon Samuels.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing you the developments shaping markets, capital access, and business decision-making across Jamaica and the region. Let's get into the stories that matter. CEPROD announced to shareholders that it plans to cash in on its large land assets in St. Thomas, which is poised for growth from billions of dollars in infrastructure that is being pumped into the parish. Over the last 2 decades, CEPROD has purchased thousands of acres of land in St. Thomas in places like Surge, Belvedere, Coley, and Bowden, where it has purchased estates for growing sugarcane for sugar production, mango, sheep, and dairy cattle rearing for fresh milk and honey production. During the course of the shareholders' meeting, CEPROD Chairman PB Scott reports that CEPROD has made significant progress on the development of its lands in St. Thomas. A plan to reduce the use of checks in Jamaica over the next 2 years is behind a decision by Scotiabank to stop accepting and issuing checks valued at $1 million or more. In a notice to clients, the bank has advised that the change will take effect on September 1. It says the move forms part of an initiative with the Jamaica Bankers Association to support the country's digital transformation while making financial transactions more secure, efficient, and convenient. Customers carrying out transactions of 1 million Jamaican dollars or more are being encouraged to use the real-time gross settlement service instead. Scotiabank says RTGS is available online and at its branches, providing a secure and reliable way to transfer funds quickly while allowing customers to better track their transactions. For the trading period of June 30, 2026, the most actively traded securities were One-on-One Educational Services Limited with 19,274,422 units, representing 27.72% of market sales activities. Wigton Energy Limited with 15,347,183 units, representing 22.07% of market sales activities. Sagicor Select Funds Limited Financial with 5,260,740 units, representing 7.57% of market sales activities. Investor activity remained concentrated in transportation and distribution plays, signaling continued interest in dividend-producing and strategic assets. Turning to the foreign exchange market based on the Bank of Jamaica data for June 30, 2026, Forex traders recorded significant activity with strong demand across major currencies. For the US dollar, trading margins reflected steady liquidity, with the US selling at $158.51 and buying for $156.15. For the Canadian dollar, moderate gain supported by $5.02 transaction spreads. The Canadian dollar sold for $111.50 and was bought for $106.48. For the British pound, continued volatility offered short-term trading opportunities of $4.55 in profits for the bank. The British pound sold for $208.20 and was bought for $203.65. These movements underscore the importance of cash flow timing and currency awareness for businesses managing import costs, debt servicing, or overseas exposure. For the credit report tip of the day, before you say I do, ask this question: who is leading your financial future? Most couples spend months planning a wedding and not even a few seconds looking at their credit report. Very few spend even one evening planning how they will make financial decisions together. Yet one of the greatest tests of a relationship isn't how much two people love each other, it's how they respond when their financial realities are vastly different. Imagine this. One partner has worked for years to maintain an excellent credit score, avoids unnecessary debt, and values financial security. The other is carrying significant debt, has a poor credit history, and is trying to recover from past financial decisions. This isn't simply a difference in numbers, it's a difference in financial habits, risk tolerance, and decision making. The instinct is often for the financially stronger partner to rescue the other by co-signing a loan, consolidating debt, or taking on financial obligations in the name of love. That is rarely leadership. Real financial leadership means helping your partner build financial capability, not creating financial dependence. A relationship should multiply opportunity, not multiply financial risk. And that's today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams. Until next time, stay informed, stay intentional, and keep building forward. See you soon.
In regional news, Barbados is moving closer to constitutional reform. Prime Minister Mia Mottley says a key report outlining proposals for a new constitution has been submitted to the government and will soon be reviewed by Cabinet before being opened to public consultation. The update came during the latest Ideas Forum, where ministers also outlined plans for prison reform, local content legislation tied to the island's emerging oil and gas sector, and improved accessibility for persons with disabilities. CBC News' Anesta Henry has the story.
Prime Minister Mia Mottley says a key report on the development of a new constitution is now in the hands of government. And she says government will be reviewing the contents of that report in short order.
I can report to you, and the AG doesn't even know fully yet, we finally got the report on the responsibilities for the new constitution. And I expect that will go to Cabinet within the next 2 to 3 weeks, and that we can start the public consultative process then on the constitution thereafter. And we hope that even if we can't make it for November, we make it soon thereafter, because we don't want to deny the country the right for full participation.
A question was asked during the forum about what is being done to rehabilitate prisoners at Dodds Prison. In response, Attorney General Wilfred Abrams made it clear that the prison is not a place where people are sent to be lost away. In fact, the Attorney General revealed authorities are exploring the option of prisoners engaging in community work while in prison, one of the ways that can help them to reintegrate into society.
Persons working and doing community work while they're in prison, we have to change some legislation and do some other things, because you can't force a prisoner to work. Right, there are laws against that's against slavery. So we have to create a circumstance that makes it attractive and incentivizes the prisoners to volunteer. Have to look at the where the person is and what they're serving a sentence for. Obviously, you'll be looking at putting out low risk prisoners and persons coming towards the end of the sentence.
With Barbados set to begin drilling for potentially billions of barrels of oil and natural gas as early as next year, one citizen who attended the forum inquired about what measures are being put in place to ensure Barbadians benefit directly and indirectly. Minister of Energy, Business Development and Commerce and the Senior Minister coordinating the productive sector, Kerry Simmons, says a local content piece of legislation is coming to ensure Barbadians are not left behind.
Which is currently in a very advanced stage of preparation, will be brought to Parliament. And that local content legislation will look at the totality of the opportunities which are derived from the oil and gas sector, and also to the renewable energy sector.
Issues affecting the disabled community were also raised during the forum. Minister of Transport and Works and the Senior Minister coordinating infrastructure, Kirk Humphrey, explained that while roads are being built and repaired, they are ensuring that people in wheelchairs can use them.
We're trying to accommodate persons with disabilities to be able to utilize the roads, because people have to be able to move. Barbadians should move, including persons with disabilities. So the most of our roads, as we build out new roads, are going to be able to accommodate you, Patrick, and other persons who utilize wheelchairs.
This edition of the Ideas Forum was held at the Glebe, St. George. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Plans to expand the University of the West Indies' Five Islands campus in Antigua and Barbuda are moving ahead, with the project now entering a key stage of the tender process. Prospective contractors have toured the site ahead of submitting bids for the first phase of the multi-million-dollar development, which officials say will expand access to higher education while creating jobs and driving economic growth. ABS News has more.
John Collin, Vice President and Services Manager at ExxonMobil Guyana Limited, noted production volumes rose notably, with over 100 oil lifts in 2025 compared to 88 the previous year. Despite oil prices dropping from $82 to $68 per barrel, the company achieved 1.2 trillion Guyanese dollars in revenue, boosted by the One Guyana floating production and storage offloading unit last year, August.
The key driver really was the startup of One Guyana. There are some additional costs included in there, such as research costs and future development.
Calling told reporters that EMGL projects a strong future, aiming for capacity of 1.7 million barrels of oil per day by 2030, and expected production of 1.3 million barrels daily. A shift from leasing to owning FPSOs like Prosperity and Destiny helped reduce some lease costs, although other marine leases remain, he informed. Financially, EMGL's cost bank reached over $55 billion, with $51 billion recovered and $4.5 billion still to be recouped. Rising oil prices may accelerate this recovery as early as the second half of the year.
Clearly, higher oil prices results in higher revenues and higher earnings for EMGL, as well as higher earnings and higher revenues for the government.
The company has also approved an asset retirement obligation exceeding 100 billion Ghana dollars, with ongoing talks with the government to establish a decommissioning fund that aligns with international standards, underscoring a commitment to sustainable asset management. Under current agreements, 50% of oil profit goes to the government post-cost recovery, with revenues expected to exceed $10 billion annually by 2030 due to increased production and favorable oil prices. EMGL has made over 30 discoveries, investing 720 billion Guyanese dollars in development. Ongoing discussions aim to select a sole export facility, with both EMGL and the government committed to cooperative resolution, potentially involving the International Chamber of Commerce. This dialogue supports EMGL's strategy of balancing immediate challenges with long-term growth. While the impressive figures emerging from the oil and gas sector may suggest robust success, critics such as Professor Kenrick Hunt and Dr. Vincent Adams have voiced significant concerns regarding the government's stewardship of its vital sector. These critiques highlight deeper issues that go beyond mere numbers, urging a closer examination of how the industry is managed and regulated. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
In sports, we begin with a critical update. Jamaica's national stadium is set for its most significant transformation in decades, with government moving ahead with an ambitious redevelopment design to modernize the country's premier sporting venue. Speaking during her sectoral debate presentation in Parliament, Sports Minister Olivia Grange unveiled updated designs for the project, which she says will prepare Jamaica to host more international sporting and entertainment events.
We will increase seating capacity to 37,500 with roof coverage and shade for every seat. There will be improved views from every seat. We will move the seats closer to the action and improve safety for everyone. The concert capacity with people not only in stands but on the field will be 50,000. Additionally, the new stadium will have 30 boxes and 2 VIP royal boxes. There will be 2 hospitality lounges, a fan boulevard, and 2 fan zones. We will also be putting in meeting accommodation and dedicated media suites with TV studio, broadcast facilities, and a venue operations center.
The redevelopment will also feature new hospitality lounges, media suites, a multi-purpose sports hall, a dedicated throws area, upgraded parking facilities, and improvements to Stadium East. Minister Grange also highlighted another milestone, announcing that the National Stadium's new track has officially earned World Athletics Class 1 certification.
All synthetic surface field test measurements comply with World Athletics requirement. Madam Speaker, what this means is that the National Stadium track, the beautiful, unique black, gold, and green track, is certified. And we have the certification in hand. And it is certified as a Class 1 facility. So our athletes can now be fully recognized when they run on the track and they break records.
The upgraded stadium is expected to be ready in time for Jamaica's role as a co-host of the 2031 FIFA Women's World Cup.
This comes at the right time to allow us to host the tournament in our redeveloped national stadium, a world-class facility, duly retrofitted and ready to accommodate the world's best women football players.
The minister also announced that discussions are progressing on a $550 million investment to redevelop Trelawney Stadium into a world-class sports and entertainment venue to strengthen Jamaica's sports tourism product. In cricket, the region's dream of winning the ICC T20 Women's World Cup came to an end for the West Indies on Tuesday. Playing at the Oval in London, England, the regional team was no match for the bowling efforts of the six-time champions. Here are the highlights.
It was the moment of truth for the West Indies, who looked to punch their ticket to the ICC T20 Women's World Cup final. In their way at the Oval in London, England, were six-time champions Australia. Adrian Lazar, TTT Sport.
We close with football. The FIFA World Cup round of 32 has continued with more decisive results as the race to the last 16 intensifies. Norway have advanced after a hard-fought 2-1 victory over Côte d'Ivoire, showing resilience in a tightly contested encounter to secure their place in the next round. France delivered a commanding performance, sweeping aside Sweden 3-0 to underline their title credentials and book a comfortable passage into the round of 16. And co-hosts Mexico kept their campaign alive with a solid 2-0 win over Ecuador, sending home fans into celebration as they move one step closer to a deep tournament run. With the knockout stage heating up, the competition is narrowing fast as teams continue their push towards World Cup glory. And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.